Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to December's editions of the ARK Developer Roundtable. So you know, this is the last roundtable of the year, but also the last roundtable of the decade. So how about that? Today we have two special guests. They are here from Unikname. Unikname is powered by ARK program. They're our members and they are building their products and services on top of our ARK Core modular stack. So let's give a warm welcome to Laurent, who is the CEO, and Damien, who is the CTO of UNIK. Hi, guys.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Really glad you could make it in the busy December. So this is why also we moved to the roundtable 1 week earlier, because it's getting crazy on all sides. So for the presentation, I'll do a short recap of the current update on the core network, and then we'll be talking about your products and services, especially we're especially interested about non-fungible tokens and how you use them to actually build non-fungible token support by using our modular stack, and it's actually powering your applications. So you will tell us more about that a bit later. So for the recap, just today we released an update to our ARK Core on DevNet, which is the 2.60 next 7 version. It's still available for testing, so we are running a public DevNet bounty program, and this is last chance for you to take part. You have 2 more weeks to put your name on the leaderboard, and top 3 guys will get also special rewards. But in essence, we'd also like to thank the community and the contributors and testers. In the last months, we closed more than 60 issues, and the last update had quite a few, let's say, segmented updates that are related to the API, to the new transaction types, also on the peer-to-peer level. We actually have merged a contribution from UNIK team, where they suggested us that we increase the maximum token symbol length. So that is also in this version. And of course, some operational updates on the database level and on the intersections. So more of this will be released in the upcoming blog post. So please check it out and try to hack into the core. Everything is open, everything is on GitHub. And join our Slack, where we will guide you towards setting up your node or testing or anything related with our technology. We are there to help you. So now I would like to switch to you guys. So we're going to start with the Unikname presentation presented by Laurent and Damien. So guys, go ahead. Screen's yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris. And good morning, everybody. So today we are with Damien. Sorry. So we are going to introduce you our project, which is a Unikname project, and we are going to talk a little bit more about the NFT token we have implemented on top of ARK technology. And so let me introduce you our project first, and what we are doing, what we are selling, and just jumping just after on how we are using it. So we propose you to do a small presentation of how we use Unikname, and exactly what is and then I will explain you more in detail how it has been coded and how it works under the hood. It's okay for you?
Yeah, perfect.
So let's start with a very quick presentation of our team. So today Unikname is 10 people working full time on this project. We have started 1 year and a half right now from scratch, with the same project and the same ID. So what we are doing today is we have two brands, Unikname and UNS.network. We're just going to explain you what. So Unikname is a brand we use for the business and to sell business solutions. And so today we have implemented two solutions. The first one, which is called Unikname Connect, which is an authentication solution. We will go in more detail and more demo just later on. And a second solution, which is Unikname Certificate Proofing, which is an SSL certificate proofing solution, especially for mobile applications. This second solution has been tested for a bank today and developed with a bank, a French bank. And for the first solution, Unikname Connect, we are starting some pilot with some traditional SaaS platforms. And these solutions are the apps which are using for blockchain, which is UNS.network. This is the name of our blockchain, which is in fact the ARK technology. But it is a dedicated blockchain to manage and to handle IDs, or identifiers exactly, and what we call also sovereign identity or sovereign identifier. So under the sole control of users and with specific properties. And we use this identifier to make the authentication. Let's go in with some more explanation and presentation. So this is a quick demo of the authentication solution. So if we have implemented this solution on own forum. So when you click on login, so you go directly to this screen and you can select the connect with Unikname in place of Facebook Connect or signing with Google, because our solution is based on the standard OAuth protocol. And so the screen appears, and in place of the traditional email, you are going to enter your sovereign ID, which could be your name and surname, or which could be a pseudo, it's like you want. And for me, it's Lul. And then I am directly connected here with the Unikname Connect solution to the platform. So this is an authentication solution. The authentication has been made with a smartphone, and to be connected, I had to use a PIN code on my smartphone. To understand how it works, so my unique name, which is Lul, or here another one, which is Laurent Lourenço, which is my name. So this is the unique name I have decided to get and to mint into the blockchain. So this unique name, it's represented as an ID into the blockchain, which is a hash code. This hash code, this is the key of the NFT, or the ID of the non-fungible token. We are going to talk a little bit about that after. This is what we call the decentralized identifier. And this unique ID is attached to a traditional wallet, a crypto wallet, with the owner, which has a passphrase, and this passphrase is secured with a PIN code on a device. And today, if you want to authenticate with a unique name, the system go to check that you are the owner of this unique name and the ID before to send the authentication token to the service provider platform.
Okay.
So the network is dedicated with many functionalities. We are just going to demonstrate two of them. The first one is what we call the decentralized ID and the sovereignty of this identifier. And the second one is what we call on-chain properties that you can attach some data and information directly to the identifier. And so you can decide if you attach it directly on-chain or off-chain. So let's make a demonstration right now, if it's okay for you. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so here at the right, what you see is our current chain explorer, okay, for the UNS.network. This is based on the ARK Explorer. We have just adapted it. We are working on the sandbox network. We will discuss about that later on, which is a test network for us. This is not the live net right now. Okay, and what we have done is we have implemented a full command line interface, a CLI, to interact directly with the blockchain. So we use the command UNS to, and you can see what are the existing commands, and you can go more deeper with more detail with sub-commands. So if you want to create a unique token, you have you can do it with the command line. If you want to send the token, you can do it with the command line. If you want to vote for a delegate, you can do it with the command line. Everything is available with the command line.
Nice.
So let's demonstrate how it works. So the better demonstration of what is a decentralized identifier is what we call to use a resolver. So we are going to resolve a name like the DNS system. Okay.
Okay.
To resolve, yes. Okay, so I'm going to check if this unique name or this name is exists within the chain. So the system has found this unique name, and it exists with a token in the chain with this ID.
Okay, nice.
And with the owner. And if we go to the chain, to the explorer, we can directly go to this non-fungible token. It's a new screen into the explorer, into the traditional explorer, and we can see that we have specific properties attached to this unique name, which is my name. This is an individual token. We are going to explain that, and there is an owner. So this is a traditional screen to see all the transactions attached to the owner of this wallet.
Okay, nice.
It's okay. So let's have another example. So we are our identifier. We have developed a solution and we try to be more close as possible as some standards. I don't know if you know, but Microsoft is working on a standard about decentralized identifier, which is a DID, what we call DID. Yeah. And so there is some syntax to use it. So we are compatible with that. So we can resolve the name with the same standard. So it's unique because this is the name of the token. And so we use namespace, individual, and Laurent is my name again. So it's working the same way. It's another way to format a decentralized identifier. And we have developed into our chain two namespaces for the time being, individual and organization, because we use it differently when you want to authenticate. You can authenticate to a website with your individual unique name, and the website needs to own an organizational unique name. Okay, so to demonstrate it first, we can try to resolve another one. Resolve John. So this team is looking into the chain. So the decentralized, this identifier does not exist, but there is some other one. Resolve John. Jack Sparrow. What is interesting with this one, this is an obfuscated or hidden unique name or identifier. So it exists within the chain, but you cannot see it with the Explorer. So if I go to look with this ID into the chain, you can see that this token and this non-fungible token exist within the chain. There is an owner. You can use it to make some authentication, but there is no, it does not appear into a directory or into a list. It's not a public name.
Okay.
It's obfuscated. So it's a decision to the user to if they want to use a pseudo totally hidden, or if they want to use a public name and to share the name, which could be a nickname or a pseudo. Okay. Now we have also implemented a specific functionality to try to solve the issue of some common trick with identifier, which is name spoofing or problem with typo squatting. So when you get a unique name, you get many forms of it. So you can spell it with uppercase, lowercase, with accent, with separators or not. It's up to you. And we manage also confusing characters. And so if you write it right now, like that, it's exactly the same. This is the same ID, and you have only one owner for all these forms of ID. This is this has been made to prevent some tricky problem in naming system. You know the so famous Binance hack that has been made onto some URLs with two different letter N with different alphabets. So it's a solution to prevent typo squatting hacks.
Very nice.
Okay, another example of what we can do with the first basic use case of using a DID is using it to send crypto. So if I want to send some token to a friend, so Laurent is going to send some token to Jack Sparrow, which is my friend.
Okay.
So I need to use my passphrase. Okay, so we have sent some tokens, and so they are here. We have just sent these tokens right now to an obfuscated addresses, but with a human readable naming, because this is Jack Sparrow. And so it's an easy way to send the crypto. If I am not sure, if I want to be sure that I am sending it from the right address, I can add a second control. This is a sender account, and the account, and yes, this is Laurent. And doing it like that, when I use my passphrase, the system is going to be sure that I am sending it from the right wallet. Okay, the right one. Okay, it's an example of how we can use the unique name very easily to send transaction to the right person. And this is a demonstration with the command line interface, but this is available within SDK to be implemented using any kind of application.
Very nice.
And just the last command, the last demonstration. It's another great feature which is available. This is how to manage on-chain properties. So, for example, if you want to make me some donation in ARK, I can share with you my ARK addresses. So it's the resolver. I use the resolve command. Which is Laurent.
Okay.
Sorry. UNS resolve. And now I'm going to add a query after the unique name, and to say that I want to look for the ARK property within the chain attached to my unique name.
Okay.
And so in that way, the system is going to look for the property within the chain name with ARK. So this is this is a good ARK addresses, so you can make some donation if you want. If you want, you can see now within the chain. Okay. So we can see here what we call the properties attached to a non-fungible token, and I am the only one to have the control of these properties. But because these properties are on-chain, they are available and readable by everybody.
Very nice.
This is the difference with what we call the off-chain properties, where you can decide to hide them and to share it with a whitelist, and you decide with whom to share it. Okay, so this is the end of the demonstration that we wanted to share with you with three command we use with the chain, and the command attached with a unique name and non-fungible token. Okay. So what we can propose now is to continue with Dania. who is going to explain to you what is a non-fungible token technically, and how it has been implemented within ARK. If it's okay for you?
Yeah, perfect. Then we'll move questions to the end. So yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you give me the?
Sure. Let me just find you. Okay, you're a presenter now.
What is your advice? I should share all my screen or just a small window, a few windows?
It's up to you, actually. So.
Okay, I can share all the screen. Do you see my screen?
Something is coming up. Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Okay. Oh.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we are going to speak about NFT on ARK.io, modular ARK.io, as you say, Chris. NFT, non-fungible token, has been is a great evolution of simple token that we can see on many blockchain tokens that can be divided, that can be shared, that can be exchanged between people. This is a classical token, Ethereum. Ether, sorry, ARK token, and this token cannot can't embed any information or just a few information, but very small information. And 2 or 3 years ago, some people imagined a new way to store information and to copy what we can have around us. That is to say, some physical properties, some physical things, such as a watch, such as a glass, such as something like that, and things that we would like to represent in the digital world. And this is what is a non-fungible token. Non-fungible token is something that represents something that can't be divided, because it represents something that just can be either owned or either transferred to something else. And the most famous use of non-fungible token is now 2 years ago. That was the CryptoKitties game. Maybe do you remember this famous game that was very interesting? That was just a game to get some cats and to make them reproduce new cats, to have some kitties, and everything was managed on the Ethereum blockchain, and many cats were sold, some were bought, sorry, and that was the very first time that something else was being forged on the blockchain.
Yep.
On Ethereum, non-fungible token is represented by now a famous ERC 721 specification. That was the first time that non-fungible was a specification was written, and that was our inspiration to create the NFT specification for the ARK ecosystem. Just before going to the specification, the use of NFT is really at the beginning, and more and more people are using them, especially in the gaming domain. Many games are trying to use this token because that could be the way to exchange all assets that gamers acquire in the games, and maybe these assets could be reused in another games. And the way to represent and to store these assets could be non-fungible tokens. On ARK, Guillaume, colleague of ours, has proposed a few months ago an implementation, a specification to do an implementation of the non-fungible token on ARK. You can see here, this is an open specification on the ARK ecosystem IIP proposal system. You can read this proposal, you can discuss this proposal, and we have implemented NFTs from this specification. We are open to discussion. We have made some choice because we needed to make some choice to implement it. But we're open, yes, to discuss and to improve it for the whole ARK ecosystem community. I will now give you a few properties about this NFT. Today, our implementation of NFT, of this specification, is a suite of plugins. I will show you that later on, that can be deployed on the bridge chain. To be clear, this implementation cannot be used on the ARK, the ARK mainnet, neither on the ARK DevNet. You cannot use it. You have to use a specific bridge chain for that. Today, you can use UNS.network to forge NFTs on blockchain. We propose 3 transactions to manage NFT, to manage the life cycle, a part of the life cycle of an NFT. The first one is NFT mint. You can easily guess what is the use of this transaction. This is just to create unique NFT. For us on UNS network, this is a unique NFT. NFT transfer that you can use to sold transfer your unique in the blockchain, and then NFT update transaction that is used to manage one instance of an NFT in order to add, to remove, to update properties of an NFT. Something you have to know: all properties cannot be managed, or some of them are rooted when the NFT is created. For example, the ID of an NFT will be solded into the NFT for its whole lifetime, and you won't be able to change it. This is the ID of the NFT. Yeah. Of course, you cannot change it. So an instance of NFT is just an ID. The specifications say you can provide your own ID. That must be a 32 bytes long ID. You can provide your own version of this ID. You can use an increment or something more complex. This won't be able. You cannot change it, and then you can manage many properties that you will be able to update, you will be able to read. And this is the thing that Laurent showed you a few minutes ago. You can add today an unlimited number of properties for each NFT. You can, of course, on your own bridge chain, if you want to add limits, you can do that. But for the protocol, you can add any properties you want. Then keys and values for each property. The key and value can be just 255 byte length for each. We thought that was enough to begin. Another thing that we have implemented with this proposal, sorry, I just missed this slide. We add new HTTP APIs. I will show you a few of them. I will just switch my screen. For example, here, sorry, maybe this is a little bit small. Here, okay. I just did a request on our network. This is another network that we are managing, which is called DevNet. We will explain you what is DevNet versus Sandbox later. I'm just here with this route. I'm just listing all the NFT called UNIKs on the UNS blockchain. Okay. this root is paginated, of course. Here we can see we can see that we have 79 uniques on this version of the chain, and we can see, for example, this ID. This ID that I can request it. We can see the owner. This is the same information that we have seen in the Explorer earlier with Laurent. I can show you another request, maybe this one. This is the same roots as before. I just added the ID of a UNIK, a random one. The interest for this root is this, I can request the properties, all the properties of a specific UNIK. Okay, I want UNIX with this ID, and I will give, I want all the properties of this UNIK. And we can see for this one that it has one type, one property name type with the value 1. The value 1, in fact, is individual that we have seen in the Explorer earlier, and is here another one, another property called color with the value red. So we can add any properties we want. Anything, something that can be noted, color can be added and removed by the user himself. But the type is a reserved property that we have configured on our blockchain with what we call constraints. This is something that we can configure for each NFT. And this constraint allows you, as a developer, when you set up your blockchain, to say what are the reserved properties name, what are the allowed value. For example, here types can just have 0, 1, or 2 enumeration value. And you can also let the users to add custom values if you want. Another root that we have updated, that was new roots, and here is an updated root. For example, the wallet roots, where we have added a subroot Unix in order to retrieve, to get the unique dedicated forge minted by one wallet in the blockchain. Sorry. So new HTTP APIs. We have also built, and that was because we have new transaction, we have new builders, you have new types. So we have an NFT crypto package. I will show you that just after. And we have a configuration that is distributed with the code, with the configuration of the blockchain itself. You have to configure the token name. You have to configure, of course, fees that you want to see applied when you do an NFT mint, an NFT transfer, or an NFT update. You can configure constraints. I just spoke about them minutes ago. In order to define the permissions on this NFT that you can delegate to the user, the owner of the NFT. You can also configure some custom behaviors that we could speak about later.
Okay,
today, what is the current implementation of this specification? We have today you can manage only a single kind of NFT on a bridge chain. This is a limitation that we have set up in order to begin with something easier than to manage something really complex later. And no, sorry. Also, in our implementation, we store all the last state of all NFT data in the same Postgre database as the other transactions, the other data of the node. Okay, we store the last state. So as I said before, as we can manage an unlimited number of properties with values and keys quite long, today we have decided to store this data on the database and not in memory. Maybe we could revise this and to change. But when we think about hundreds and thousands of NFTs with many properties, we decided to store them on the database because in memory that could be a problem at one time.
Yeah.
Today we are quite sorry. This works well. The performance are quite fast enough. Maybe we could improve that in the future. No problem. We can discuss about that, of course. Now I would like to share you
the code.
Yeah, the code. So you recognize some classical package of ARK, either 2.3 or ARK 2.6. I can show you here. This is the code of just after the migration of after ARK 2.6. We are based today on ARK 2.6.
Nice.
Next 4, and we will upgrade to the last version when you will release the DevNet to the mainnet in the weeks in the future. So the new core API, core database Postgres, crypto are existing package that we that we have to modify to implement the whole features that I've just shown you before. Core NFT and Core NFT crypto are the main package to manage NFTs.
Okay.
You can guess. You will recognize the classical tree. Here are the transaction with the transactional handlers. I can show you what is on NFT Mint, a classical one. Sorry, I can reduce the size. You can find the bootstrap, throw if cannot be applied, can enter transaction pool, apply sender, revert for sender, and apply to recipient, and revert, which are the classical new hooks to implement with the new GTI. So thank you for this new implementation in ARK 2.6 because the code is much cleaner and much readable than it was before with the ARK 2.3.
I'm glad you like it.
Yes. So we have the 3 transactions. We have some interfaces. Here are the constraints. The constraints I spoke about just a minute ago. For example, we have here an enumeration constraints. What is the constraint? To remember you. But this is something that you can configure to restrict the permission on an NFT. For example, you can say that a specific property can just be with the value of a specific property can just be a set of value, so an enumeration. So we can use these constraints. I will show you the configuration later. We have also is a crypto friend of this transaction. So we can find the builders, classical, one for each transaction, which extends which extends the code ARK provide to build the builders. This is the NFT part of the implementation, and we have also, because we are working on UNS.network, we have also more transactions dedicated to the UNS network, which extends to NFT. So we have another crypto package, UNS, dedicated to a UNS transaction, which we can find in this package UNS transaction. So we have a suite of plugins that we can configure in order to set up our bridge chain. We have also some modifications of existing ARK package. The biggest one is the core database Postgres, because today we have registered our repositories in order to manage all the code dedicated to NFT. So storing the NFT and all properties inside this package. We are working to try to store them outside this package, but this is something we have to discuss with you. Maybe we could succeed in storing them in a dedicated package. Today we're not able to do that.
Okay.
We want to use the same database. We saw that other projects are setting up external database with SQLite, for example. And yes, it works. But for delegate, we think that they should just manage one database and not multiple databases. So we think we should reuse the same database used for storing other assets of the node. Secondly, we would like to reuse all the migration tool in order to set the SQL schema, to upgrade the SQL schema if necessary at the startup of the node.
Okay.
We have also small modification in core database for interfaces and core API to plug our new HTTP implementation. Maybe something that is really much more complex for us is writing new tests. I will explain that later, because we have to mix our tests with ARK ones, and so for maintenance, this is something hard to write, hard to read, hard to maintain.
I agree.
All right. Okay. Maybe you have a question, Chris? No.
Yeah. Maybe some of the comments actually you mentioned, brings me back to our upcoming release. After 2.6, we'll be actually working on our next version of Core, and basically we are really focusing there on the increased developer efficiency, meaning the issues different bridge chains they had similar issues as you mentioned. So let's say upgrading, adding stuff to database. So this will be addressed. We are looking into type ORM, and it will be a bit more flexible to add interfaces, to add additional data, but still keep it as a single database, as you said. So you don't have to maintain different stuff all over the world. So that's why I completely, the light turned on. And the same goes for tests. So because, as a bridge chain, we are running, let's say, our end-to-end tests, which are based coupled to the core. But with the Core 3.0, actually a separate test framework will be shipped along. That will be configurable and adjusted, let's say, to your Genesis properties. So it will be easier to plug, especially the integration tests, which have to run every time. So yeah, I'm quite happy because we have the same concerns, and we are really pushing in these directions with the updated version. So yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, excellent.
I think you have some more content, so yeah.
Yes, I have more content. So we've just finished our migration from ARK 2.3 to ARK 2.6. The organization was totally different. With ARK 2.6, ARK 2.3, sorry. With ARK 2.3, we have already open sourced the implementation of NFT in this repository. For ARK 2.6, we have to the code is not open source today, and it will be in the next month when we will release our new testing network. We will speak about that in the roadmap at the end of the presentation.
Okay.
The limits, we have already spoken about that. The limits of this current NFT implementation, we have the need to be able to read any 8 8 of the chain. Most of the time we want to read the last state of the chain, but for some of our application we will in the next months we will want to be able to read older state of the blockchain, so with an 8 which is not the last one, and this is something today that is hard to implement because of our current implementation. We have also spoken about that. We have still dependencies on ARK modules. This is something that we want to get rid of in the next months. NFT implementation, the next step. We can improve the storage of this state and the data. We have to speak about that. We want to improve the life cycle of the NFT. Sorry, we can create, update. Maybe we need something to delete or to manage more complex life cycle of an NFT. We would like to be able to handle multiple several kind of NFT on the same blockchain, or even be able to make a dynamic registration of new kind of NFT. That will be very interesting because the current implementation needs to publish a new node code, the new code, and the delegate has to publish and to deploy it. With a dynamic registration, we could do that without upgrading the current chain.
Exactly, and that's my question also. Why? Yeah. Because I guess you decided because of the initial design to go just with one schema, but essentially it would be possible to introduce new transaction types that would handle dynamic properties of different NFT tokens. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. This could be very interesting for the next year, and we think this is the future. Of course, yes. For our development, we have to go for a small path, and this will be maybe the next path. Next, that will be compatibility with ARK 3. You already spoke about that a few minutes ago. We look forward this. Yes. Our goal is to provide a suite of NFT plugins totally autonomous from the ARK's code to let anyone to publish their NFT on their blockchain. And also today in 2019 we focus on ERC 721. But now on Ethereum, a new proposal, a new implementation, a new specification is promoted by the community, which is the new ERC 1055 specification, which generalize, which somewhere make a fusion between standard token, classical, fungible token and non-fungible token in the same specification, and maybe that could be something interesting to implement on ARK. A few words on NFT on UNS, in order to be sure everyone has understood how that works. UNS.network is the first blockchain which implement and deploy NFT capabilities. So the UNS network is equal to the NFT suite developed on ARK.io, plus the unique token and this configuration, new transaction that we need to deploy on UNS, the SDK, a CLI. Laurent showed you a few minutes ago this tool, new APIs, a token economy. Laurent will speak about that in a few minutes. And for us, new networks, an internal one to do our test, and DevNet that will be renamed Sandbox in the next week. And for us, then the mainnet, which will be called the LiveNet. Limits and feedback, we already spoken about that. Testing is hard. Today we are working on a forked implementation of the ARK ecosystem crypto that we have to republish, and we will publish it with another name UNS ARK Crypto.
Okay.
Okay. Feedbacks, many improvements. So thank you. The code is really cleaner with ARK 2.6, and maybe this is maybe you could make a gift to the community in 2020 if you could enable the strict compiling mode of the TypeScript compiler. That could be very interesting to avoid many bugs.
Exactly.
Because, yes, that would be very, very interesting if you could do that in the next month.
So I can answer again. So it's version 3.0.
Oh, yes. Very interesting. So it's finished for me. Laurent has a few slides to show you to show to the community.
Thank you very much, Jamil. Yeah. Lauren, you're still muted. And just unmute.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Just to conclude for our presentation, just a few words about the token economy. As you have seen, we are talking about the UNIK NFT token, but there's also a UNS protocol token. As you have seen, when we use the CLI, I have been able to send some token from one addresses to another one. And it's very interesting to understand that there is two tokens, one which is a traditional protocol token, and one another which is UNIK. And both tokens are really closed and each other, and they work one with the other. They share the same crypto addresses, so it's very important. And to understand the token economy is that we are not supplying UNS token from scratch at the beginning, as it was done during ICO time. We have decided to change the model, and we are generating UNS token for every unique token created into the chain. So the adoption of the UNS network is based on the number of unique tokens, so the unique name and non-fungible token within the chain. Remember, this is a specialized blockchain dedicated to IDs, decentralized ID. So everything is related and measured about the number of unique NFT token within the chain. And so every time you create a unique, we generate some UNS token, and we give some UNS token. We attach them to the wallet of the owner of the unique, and we distribute a part of the token created to the delegate, and we give some other token to the sponsors of the creation of the unique. And so it's something a little bit original in the way it works. And which is also interesting is that we have decided to feed the community with true cash coming from our business. So everything we sell on the traditional economy, so it's on the for centralized platform or website which are using authentication solution or certificate proofing solution. So we sell them unique name for organization, one time for all. So it's a fixed price, one time for all for company. And then we sell them subscription based on the number of users in their platform using the authentication. And we transfer 20% of this cash to the network and to the token economy. Sorry, my screen is not shared. Is it shared or not?
No, kind of lost it.
Sorry. I have a screen. Where is my screen? Sorry for this. Here. Okay. Thank you, Damien, for this. Maybe it's better to understand with the screen. Yes, so we collect cash selling our services to a company, and we transfer 20% of this cash to the community through the protocol token and the creation of the UNIK token. And so this is something specific which is coming with what we call the sandbox network. So today we have more than 25 or 30 delegates working on the DevNet, and we are going to move to the sandbox network with all this new functionality and the token economy implemented within the network. So this is our milestones. So the DevNet is up and running, and you can already use it until end of January. And we will move to the sandbox network end of January with the token economy and many additional features around the UNIK tokens and the life cycle of the token within the chain. And we plan to open the livenet before June, so the date is not fixed yet. But we have today 2 big customers who would like to use it in live with more than 5,000 users on it for the Unikname Connect solution, for the authentication solution. And so we are a little bit in a hurry to jump to the livenet. So that's the end of our presentation. Just to conclude, if you want to join our community, everybody is welcome. So today we have one website which is docs.uns.network, which contain everything related to the description of the CLI, the description of the token, and so on. You also have the forum. If you don't have a unique name to connect on this forum, you can use a traditional email and password. And if you want to become a network player, just feed the forms on the UNS.network with your name, and we will send you a link to download the Docker package to set up the node in less than 30 minutes. And just that's the end of our presentation. So thank you very much for all of you. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking your time and really giving us a detailed presentation about, let's say, our products and services, and especially about, let's say, your experiences in relation to building on our modular network stack, which are really grateful for any feedback, because that's the purpose also of the roundtable, to circle back information and make the tool chain and tools better for the whole ecosystem. We moved questions to the end of the presentation, so the discussion is open. So if anybody has any questions, please go ahead.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, hi, Mike.
Hi, hey, Chris.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, good to meet you, Damian. Yes, can you put a time lock on the NFT tokens, or I think you might be able to? So say when you distribute them, do it a crowdfund or something, you can lock them for a year to be compliant, like with the Jobs Act, things like that. So they can't be transferred until after that year, is that?
Sorry, we don't understand very well. The line is not very good. Can you repeat, please?
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it's possible to put a time lock on the tokens, on the NFT tokens, so they can't be transferred until after that time period is over.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Yeah, yes, we plan to do it. Clearly this is a functionality we are working on, and the idea is really to be able, when we do a transfer of NFT, to be able to exchange it with some token, and so to use the time lock transaction to do that. So maybe Dania, you want to add something?
Yes, sir. For us, new features, we are not using new features of ARK 2.6, and in 2020, we will improve our product. We will improve our features to use the new features of ARK 2.6 and then ARK 3.0. So yes, the expectation you have could be implemented. This is why we are doing such a conference. We want to have feedbacks to collect new needs. So yes, it could be something we could implement in the next month. Yes, it's possible.
Great, thanks.
Okay, do we have any other questions? Maybe I'll jump in between before some other questions come up. Laurent, from the start, you mentioned the DID standard, so that basically Microsoft and actually the consortium of bigger players is setting up a digital identity standard, which I think initial versions are already out there. But if I understood you correctly, you actually said that your unique identity is already compatible with this DID standard specification.
We try to follow the specification we see, which is not already a fully it's not an accepted proposal right now. It's a working document which is made by Microsoft with a foundation attached to the W3C. And so they are still working on it. It's not fully finished, but so we try to be as much as close as possible as this standard. But in fact, this is really oriented to a way to use the DID, which is more close to what they call the decentralized identity. And what we are working on is decentralized identifier. So it's not exactly the same topic. So we have been obliged to adapt it a little bit. So the way you use it with syntax is very close to and similar to the way they have describing it, but we are not using it exactly the same way, because in their standard, the DID is a way to use an identifier to reference an external document or an external resources out of the chain or somewhere else. And so we are not doing and using it exactly the same, because we are using the identifier within such a wallet, which is an app to do authentication. So yes, we are following their work and to see how it's going on.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from community?
Hey guys, I don't have a question. This is Matthew. I just wanted to say thanks for coming on today and sharing your update. It's really cool stuff what you guys are doing, and I'm really proud to have you guys be a part of the ecosystem. And this was a really great presentation, so I can't wait for others to see it. Once we post it up to YouTube, we'll put that link out. And just thanks for being on today. It was really great.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
Okay, so thank you guys. Thanks again for your time and for a really good presentation, and see you soon. So I guess
yes,
thank you
very much for all of you, and every day we know that we have made the good choice with the ARK IO solution to develop our product, and thank you very much to accept us into the Powered by ARK program. So it's very cool and efficient for us, and to know that we are not alone, because working on a blockchain today is a complex job, and to be part of a community, it's really important. And so thank you for all of you.
Yes, thanks, Laurent and Damien. It was really great, great demonstration for me. Yes, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it again.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, and Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, you too.
see you next year.
Yeah.